What's good, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Free Game, where the only thing that we do on this channel is what? Skibbly bop bop bop. Keep it a stack. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. What is your legacy? What is your legacy? I think that that's a very important question because I want to know what you want to do with your life. With the short amount of time that we have on this planet, on this earth, with our friends, with our family, with other human beings, with other people, you never know when your last day could be. And a lot of people are scared to hear that, but really you should embrace that. You should take it the other way. You should take it the other opportunity to cherish every single day that we have on this planet. Now it's 4:50 a.m. Saturday morning, November 5th, when I decided to record this podcast because I went to sleep pretty early at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. on Friday because I'm an old man and it is what it is at this point. But I felt motivated, I felt inspired, I felt obligated to record this podcast. I'm trying to work on consistency. I'm trying to work on dedication, something that I mentioned previously in my origin story podcast. So I'm very excited to be recording this right now and just pursuing my dreams, pursuing my craft, getting better at my craft, and loving what I do. So your legacy is very important to me, to Christopher Jeremiah Clements, because I don't think a lot of people realize, or a lot of people think, that we have 70, 80, 90 years, 100 years on this planet maximum before your physical person, your physical body, and really before then, like, starts to depreciate, for lack of a better word. So cherish each and every day. Cherish who you love, cherish what you love, do what you love. And ultimately, I think that the biggest aspect is really just being you as a person, being who you are, being who you want to be. And when you die, looking at your tombstone and saying, I was Christopher Jeremiah Clements, and I was so glad that I had the opportunity to be me. I wrote this quote on my phone. It says, and this applies to my life specifically, not necessarily yours, but it says that, okay, y'all hear the background music? It says, I'm an imperfectly perfect human being striving to serve others in a world that challenges my morals, for better or for worse. But remember, be your light and be yourself until the day you're called. And I wrote that like 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, because I felt compelled to do so. But I motivate you, inspire you to do the same thing, because it's so important. And when you feel like you're being your authentic self, you radiate a certain level of energy, a certain level of authenticity, a certain level of quote unquote power that people can genuinely see out of you, that people admire. I know I did. I know it made me want to be me growing up, seeing people when I was scared in a world that's so judgmental, seeing people that were just being them and that didn't seem to be fazed, even if they were, by other people's opinions, other people's perspective, other people's thoughts, other people's criticism. At the end of the day, they were still being who they wanted to be, who they are, who their destiny called them to be like. And that really inspires me to continuously, until the day that I'm called, craft out who I want to be. And I tell myself right now, I'm like, one day I'm going to die. But my mindset and my opinion and my perspective on it is so different than everyone else. I embrace my death. I embrace my time here on this planet because I use this time as an opportunity to love others, to give back to others, to do for others, to denote to knowing that whatever I do for myself is only for myself. It shifts my mindset and my perspective to focus on the youth, to focus on the next generation, to focus on who can inspire after me. What legacy do you want to leave behind when you're dead and gone, when you're not on this earth, just like the generation and decades before us? What will the history books sing about you? What will they say about you? Will they say you're a good person? Will they say you're a bad person? Will they say that you're a selfless person? Will they say that you're a person who was rich, that just cared about your own personal volition? What entities do you want to be displayed? For me personally, I want to be known as selfless, as authentic, as kind, as genuine, as funny, which I already am, as loving, as a father, as a husband, as intellectual. But mind you, none of those things I said are metrics, with the exception of being a father. And not just being a father, but I want to be known as being a great father, a great husband. But the interesting thing about life is, no matter if you say I'm a great husband, I'm a great father, your opinion is solely your opinion. Society's opinion is what dictates what you were or what you are, present, past, and future. Your actions and your words, primarily your actions, determine what type of labels you receive in this life, in this society. Being the person you want to be is important. I don't know if I ever heard a person say that they wanted to be mean or vicious or malicious or upset or sad all the time. Not that those things aren't emotions and those things are feelings. I just don't know a person who said, yeah, I want to wake up and be sad, versus someone who says, I want to wake up and experience a high level of dopamine or happiness or fantasy or heaven or life in general, you know? I think that those things are very, very important and those things are very big, but I think how I just said we're imperfectly perfect human beings. If you strip all of the other labels and all of the other identities that we have of each other, we are all one and the same. We all start off as one and the same, which is what intrigues me, which is what makes me want to go into psychology, because we all start off as babies with no knowledge, no regulation, no information, no predetermined biases, and have the opportunity to learn, start fresh, start new, start different, start over. And we as humans continuously decide to repeat the cycle for multiple reasons, for sure. For protection, for culture, for knowledge, for history, right? History is important because if we didn't say what happened in history, then we would repeat life and it would also be a constant loop. But the difference between saying what happened in history, which is indeed in fact, and what we believe to have happened in history, or what our opinions of what we believe happened in history, is just that, an opinion, subjective. And we are the narrators of our own story, and we're the narrators of our children until we're not. Until our children's mind, our kids, the youth, really, mindsets develop enough to make decisions, actions, conscious thoughts on their own. And I'm going to teach my children, if I'm thankful to have children in this lifetime, history, what happened. And then I'm going to tell my children my opinion on what happened, but remind them that it's just that, my opinion. Forcing my children to think a certain way or believe a certain way or act a certain way is an expectation that our parents or generations above us have on us, or what we have on our counterparts or associates or each other, that I won't have for my household or for my children or for people under me, because it leads to disappointments. Expectations lead to disappointment because everyone is the master of their song. You can't write someone else's story for them. No matter how much you love them, no matter how much you want them, no matter how much knowledge you're trying to pour into them, if they're not ready to receive, then they're just not going to receive. And that's just that on that. BFFR. Be freaking for real. And that's what I'm starting to learn. I'm kind of scared because I feel like my mindset is at an elevated place, which I'm very thankful for, than majority of my counterparts in this generation, as it comes down to the lens and optics of life. There's a lot of areas and categories that I want to grow in, that I don't have much knowledge in and experience in, which is another podcast. But when it comes down to the optics of life and knowing that I will always be a lifelong learner, shout out to Claudia Wooten, man. She's just such a great person, such a wise person, such a studious and knowledgeable person. The reason why I randomly brought her up is she is another individual that is just such a steadfast, strong, growing individual of life, and I really look up to her in so many different ways, shapes, and circumstances. So shout out to her. She definitely comes to mind a lot while I'm making this podcast. She said that she's very excited to listen to this podcast, and I know that she is, because she has so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much advice to give, and I'm definitely going to bring her on a part 2 because I just want to hear her thoughts. I want y'all to hear her thoughts. And she strives to be very non-biased in her opinions. And anybody who knows about implicit biases, that's not 100% true no matter who you are, just because we are humans. Like, that is a natural thing. But she genuinely strives to make sure that her opinion and her decision is neutral in most, yeah, I said it, situations. So at the end of the day, your specialty that I talked about in my origin story is being you. And I'll go as far as to say this makes me very uncomfortable with my thought process because I feel like I am not in control of my life. But if you listen, and where I just got happy, if you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus, if you believe in religion, you shouldn't be trying to lead your own life anyway, for it already has been written and predetermined, and you're a disciple carrying out your mission. And that's how I'm starting to feel, that I'm just here on this planet. And that might come off as sad, but it's actually far from. It's relieving. It's comfortable. That I can just live knowing that what is for me is for me. Kerry Washington said in a TikTok one time that you have to run sometimes to catch your bus. Run as fast as you can. And if you ran as fast as your body will allow you to run, and you didn't make that bus, then it wasn't your bus. And that was so relieving to hear. But she said, if you see that bus and you ran 85%, 99%, 62%, and you didn't catch that bus, that could have very well been your bus. And now you have to wait again for your bus, for your mission, right? For your unique story to come around again. And it will, because energy balances itself out. It will come around again, but you have to wait. And the quicker and the sooner you accept who you are as a person, be yourself, the happier, in my personal opinion, quote unquote, you will be, because you will feel it. You will love it. You will be thankful for it. You will be glad that you're you. Imagine if everyone was the same on this planet. The exact same. Think about it. One after the other after the other. When somebody was born, they acted just like the next person. We wouldn't even be excited for births anymore. That's a fact. And we wouldn't be excited for births because we already know who that person is, how that person is going to act, what that person's story is, because it was just like the last. In the time before that. But knowing that this person can write a story that's undetermined, unprecedented, or that's unknown by other humans is what keeps our curiosity going. Providing them with the resources to be them. So long story short, I ask you as you're listening to this, what is your legacy? That thought that comes across your mind that says do this today and you don't. Do this tomorrow and you don't. Do this the next day and you don't. The thought is going to keep coming to mind. It is. Because you're a human and you can discipline yourself. But no matter how much you discipline yourself like you discipline a dog is a dog. I seen this video of this police dog who was trained for years and still bit its owner, and people were wondering why. Because at its heart, at its core, at its naturality, it's a dog. And it slowly reverts back to its natural habitat, its natural origin. We're humans. Be a human. Feel. Think. We're placed into so many constructs, so many boxes, so many labels of life. The president, LGBTQT plus, smart, dumb, criminals, scholars, professors, children, and etc. I'm just firing off things that come in my head. But treat people with respect. People need unique support. Provide people with the unique support that they need for sure. But at the end of the day, remember that they're human. I don't have anything to talk to them about. I don't have anything to say to them. You do. Two things. Either your mind hasn't reached a level where you realize that, or you simply just don't want to. Or maybe y'all, as a connection, don't want to, as a pair. You can discuss with somebody as a human. You can. How is your life going? Are you spiritual? Is life hard right now? How is your family? How is your mental health? Do you value finances in this society? Do you think that you're struggling? What are some of your hobbies? What are some of your goals? What do you want out of this life? Do you think that you're being used as a vessel? Do you think that you have a mission? Do you think that you have a legacy? These are deep questions. Yeah, I know. You can ask them simple stuff too. What is your favorite food? Do you like to eat? What's your favorite drink? Do you like to travel? Where are you born? Where are you from? Man, the scale goes from A to Z and back to A if you wanted to. How do you feel about certain topics? You get to write your own story. You get to write your own narrative. It's up to you, and I'm thankful to God, to Jesus Christ, that He's allowing me to expand my mindset and my knowledge every single day. Because I feel wise, I feel knowledgeable, I feel like a sponge, truly. I see why people say be a sponge. Be a person that learns. You will never stop learning. And the moment that you do is the moment that you turn arrogant. I hear somebody say, well, I want to be confident. I'm confident, but I come off as arrogant. Some people who are not as confident or don't portray themselves as confident as you are always going to think that you're arrogant. The difference between being arrogant and being confident is when you're arrogant, you stop learning. I heard that somewhere. When you're arrogant, you stop learning. When you're confident, you know who you are, but you're still open to more ideas, to new ideas, to people's opinions and thoughts. Never become arrogant. Never become complacent. Never become stagnant. Never. So, without further ado, I ask you, what is your legacy? Accept your thoughts. Accept who you are as a person, because until you do that, you will have a constant battle with yourself. And once you start battling with yourself and get out of your own way, then the next thought will be, how can you achieve your legacy? How can you achieve your thought process? So without further ado, man, Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Free Game. And Paradox out.